Greetings, brothers and sisters, and welcome to BBP. Now, last week we had some technical difficulties, but we're back in the saddle now, and we're going to carry on here with chapter 11 in Mark, where Jesus is talking about answering our prayers. And starting in verse 22, I said we need to make sure that we do have faith, that God will respond on our behalf. And in verse 23, we need to remove any doubt at all about His ability to answer our prayers. I asked you to pray about these two aspects of your relationship with God and make sure your heart is clear on them. The third point that Jesus makes about effective prayer is easy to overlook, and based on my observations over the years, I don't think the average Christ follower builds this principle into their prayer lives. It's right here in verse 23. Whosoever says to this mountain. The words we speak absolutely affirm what we believe about God. And His Word makes it clear from cover to cover, words have power. And there are no more powerful words that we can speak than to confess this word out loud. In previous videos, I've talked about the more familiar passages on this topic. Proverbs 18, where it says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Psalm 103, it tells us that God's angels get busy when they hear His word confessed out loud. So today, I want to take you to a less familiar passage because I love showing you things in the Bible you may not know about. In the Old Testament book of Zechariah, starting in chapter 4, the people are getting ready to rebuild the temple of the Lord. Now, this is the temple that Solomon built years ago. Now, the temple he built was destroyed in a war, and a previous attempt to rebuild this was met with a mountain of obstacles. But here we are, 16 years later, and a man by the name of Zerubbabel, Zerubbabel, that's what they named their kids back then. But anyhow, Zerubbabel was in charge of rebuilding the temple. Only this time, listen to what God says about the obstacles that were standing in the way, starting in verse 6. So he answered and said to me, this is the word of the Lord to Zerubbabel, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord of hosts. Who are you, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel you shall become a plain, and he shall bring forth the capstone with shouts of grace, grace to it. Now verse 6 can be a video all its own, but check out verse 7, where God says to the mountain, who are you, O mountain? In other words, what or who could possibly stand in the way when I get ready to move? You shall become a plain. Whatever's standing in your way, whatever that obstacle is, God is going to remove it. Or more than likely, He'll take you through it and teach you some things along the way. And that's even more better. Don't overlook the rest of this verse, that as the obstacle is removed and the temple is completed, the people are verbally affirming what they believe God is doing. Grace to it literally means God bless it. And this is powerful proof that the words we speak affirm what we believe God can do. Can you say this is true in your life? Do the words you speak affirm what you believe about God? Do they speak life to your situation, or do your words keep you bound up in a never-ending cycle of unanswered prayers? I want you to pray about that this week and see if maybe your own words are hindering your prayers. Now, next week, we're going to come back. We're going to take a look at the fourth and final aspect of an effective prayer life. I hope you join me right here. And if you have any questions about anything I've spoken today, please don't hesitate to reach out. The addresses are coming up. Until next week, keep your eyes on Jesus and not on your troubles. Thank you.